It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the morning edition for Monday, September 28th. I'm James Spann. Wet is the word with a tropical low moving in from the south. A lot of things to talk about. First off, the supermoon. We actually had a few breaks in the cloud cover over parts of Alabama last night. This shot was from near Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And love that timed sequence of the eclipse that was taken up in Iowa last night. Really cool. But again, for a lot of people around here, they had a hard time seeing it. Here's the deal this morning. We've got the upper low that's over the Texas coast and a surface low over the central Gulf moving north. It's a pretty good combination for wet weather. Some really big rain numbers last night down in southwest Alabama near the Gulf Coast. Parts of Mobile County had over 7 inches of rain and some pretty serious flooding. That was a radar at daybreak. That was at actually 4:45 this morning. The leading edge of the rain was roughly along US 80, Demopolis, Selma, Montgomery, Opelika. That will be moving north. In the northern half of the state, we'll see rain at times later today and tonight. To the south, we have flash flood watches for the Gulf Coast, really all the way from near Morgan City, Louisiana, to Fort Myers, Florida. That's a big stretch there. That, of course, includes Mobile, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, and Panama City. Also, we note there is a marginal severe weather risk in that same area. Maybe a few isolated tornadoes or waterspouts today, but of course, no severe weather problems on our end of the state. And this is the convective outlook tomorrow. No organized severe weather expected, although there could be some thunder, but mostly it's just going to be kind of a wet day with periods of rain. This is the expected rain for the next 5 days. A lot of things happening here. First off, with this tropical low, heavy rain on the Gulf Coast. Up this way, the rain amounts 1 to 1.5 inches expected. And then Tropical Depression 11 could spread some heavy rain on the Atlantic coast. Cape Cod with a bullseye there of 4.5 inches. In fact, here's the tropical look here. Tropical Depression 11 formed yesterday in the Atlantic east of the Bahamas. And, of course, we have the broad tropical low in the southern Gulf. Here's a look at the track of TD11. It could become tropical storm today, but it stays under hurricane strength and it stays offshore and then weakens to a depression late this week. The main effect will be just pushing a lot of moisture up into the upper part of the Atlantic coast. And there's modeling on the system in the Gulf. And understand, this is just a broad surface low. This is going to be a rainmaker, so it doesn't make too much sense to focus on those lines. Most of the intensity models do not develop this, and we think it will not. So let's look at the whole pattern here. Here's the GFS, the Global Forecast System, valid today at 1 o'clock local time. You can see the upper low on the Texas Gulf Coast, and down below that, a lot of moisture moving in. We'll expect periods of rain this afternoon and tonight. And understand, we'll say this, with tropical systems, getting the specific axis of the heavy rain right can be very hard. It's very broad. This is what the HRRR looks like at 9 o'clock this morning, and then at 6 o'clock this evening. We'll have some breaks in the rain, but understand it looks pretty wet for most of the state. Rain at times this afternoon and then tonight. And then tomorrow, still looking relatively wet. This is 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But again, I don't think it rains all day. I do think there'll be some breaks, but cloudy, occasional showers. High should be around 80. We note the tropical depression may be a storm, TD11 over in the Atlantic. Wednesday, we trend drier. There could be a few lingering showers, but again, I don't think it rains much. A mixture of clouds and sunshine. I'd say the high in the upper 70s. And then Thursday looks to be a dry day. And we start to turn cooler. We're getting some cool air advection dropping in here. Partly to mostly sunny. The high dropping in the middle 70s. And then Friday should be a pretty decent fall day. Again, we note some moisture tries to show up near the Georgia border. I think for now we'll leave it dry. We start the day in the 50s. The high would be in the 70s. Really delightful fall weather. Great for football, the high school games. And this is Saturday as the weekend begins. And the westerlies beginning to trend farther to the south. And if this is right, that looks pretty good on Saturday. Dry air. The day would be sunny and very comfortable. The high would be in the middle 70s. The low would be in the middle 50s. It'll just be perfect. And really the same thing Sunday. Looks good. Highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. Just delightful. Monday of next week, Got a trough approaching from the west. That might squeeze out a shower, but the air looks awfully dry, and I'd say the chance of rain looks pretty small with this. This is the end of the forecast, the middle of next week, Wednesday, October 7th. We've got broad troughing here, and maybe a few showers with that. And again, highs, if that's right, would be in the 70s and lows in the 50s. Very, very comfortable. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here for 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream of the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.